I quit vaping. Go me. So I've been vaping for like, I don't know, 8 years or something. Yeah, bro, it is freaking hard to quit. But I got higher powers on my side cheering me on. I really do. Shoot, I forgot to get mascara. The mascara that I have is all dried out. Okay. Alright. Let's talk. What shall we talk about today? Well, I like that one. So, I don't know. Okay. In 2017, my younger brother Jacob was arrested. So, okay. My younger brother was arrested for indecency and molestation of a child. Okay. My brother and I are tight. He is definitely a very strong soulmate of mine. Okay. So he was married to someone. I don't know how many years, a while. And she had, I think, 4 kids, or 3 or 4, I don't know. And so he didn't have any kids with her or anyone else. But he helped to take care of them. He worked and helped, he contributed to the bills at their house and such. And he had expressed his concern to me a couple of times, maybe more than twice. That he was afraid to leave her because she said she was going to do some crazy stuff. Golly, and it's my daughter's cat. All right, but a lot of people say that. A lot of people say that their ex is gonna go crazy and stuff like that, right? Yeah, well, she went extra batshit crazy because she accused him of molesting her 12-year-old. No shit. And he had already left, right? And so she accused him of that. And no one knew where he was. But he called me. You know, I don't remember exactly what was said or whatever, but I think he asked if he could stay with me. And I said no, because like there was a search out for him and stuff, and like either I said no, or I think he didn't want me to get in trouble or something. I don't remember. I think it was the latter, to be honest. So he let me know he was okay, and you know, he was gonna hide out because like he thought she was gonna go back on her accusation. Okay. And like, because it wasn't true, and you know, he thought that she was gonna confess that it wasn't true, and you know, all would be well and all that. Like, he was even thinking about getting back with her to stop her from saying that or whatever, right? But at this point, if she went back on her allegation, then she would have had jail time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, what happened? So they searched for him, you know, and it made it look worse because he was running. It made him look more guilty. And he already had an arson charge from when he was younger. He and his friends got together and they were just drunk and acting stupid, and they caught a building on fire. But no one was in it or anything. It was like an old whatever, but he still got in trouble. So that looked bad on his record. Okay. So one day I was about to take my girls to school. It was like 7 in the morning, and I get a knock on my door, and it's the Texas Rangers. This was in 2017. And they were looking for my brother. Okay. And, you know, I told him the truth. I told him I didn't know where he was. I didn't know anything. He wasn't where I was. And they searched my whole place. You know, I let them look through my phone and stuff. And they left. Fuck. Texas Rangers, dude. Okay? Anyways. So they finally found him. They arrested him. He let me know where he was. He called me. He let me know where he was. And his attorney contacted me and said I was his first contact. And it was a state-appointed attorney who, like, I didn't know anything about the law then, or the terminology or anything at the time, but it felt like I knew more than this guy, right? So anyways, he had gotten arrested. He was in county for, I don't know how long. It might have been like, it was a long time. I think it was over 6 months, to be honest with you. It was a long time because they were trying to build a case, right? So they got, you know, they did the rape kit test. They did all kinds of stuff. They did tests. All of the tests were negative. All of them. All the tests that he did and they ran were negative. He even had an ally and everything, right? Okay. Yeah. So they decided to do a jury. They decided to have a jury for this case. Ask me why, I don't fucking know. Because, you know, the reason is probably because they couldn't build a case. So they decided to get a jury to hear her side and then hear his side, right? So the attorney told him that he had a 75% chance of losing. And he was going to get 75 to life in prison. But he said that if he signed a plea bargain, that he would get a few years. Well, he signed a plea bargain. He was railroaded. This is a town where everyone knew her. This is a town, a very small town, where most people are going to believe the woman over him. He didn't have much of a reputation. He was just a good old boy that, you know, went to work and didn't get into trouble anymore and stuff. Okay. But everybody knew her. The judge knew her. People knew her. Alright. So he knew that the odds were stacked against him. So he took the plea bargain. And he got 40-something years. Or something like that. In prison. Yeah. My brother. My sweet brother, Jacob. Yeah. Okay. That was in 2018. So he wrote, I advised him to write different attorneys, like, and ask, you know, for their help or whatever. Nobody wanted to pick this case. Okay? Nobody. Because of the delicacy of it. It's a, you know, it's a complex case, and it's not often that male offenders get off, even if they're innocent. Innocent until proven guilty is bullshit, okay? It is. Alright. So, I believe this is the third or fourth prison that he's in right now. This is 2022. It might be the third. So he stayed in contact with me. He stayed in contact with some of the family, but I was the only one who kept contact with him. And there were times, you know, he's been on suicide watch. He's been, you know, in solitary confinement several times, mostly for safety. So he's been on suicide watch. Damn it. To shit. He's been on suicide watch to protect him. Because of people finding out what he was in there for. And the last time that happened, he wrote me a letter. And I opened the letter and he let me know that he was in trouble because he was, like, some inmates had gotten a hold of a phone and they looked up his charges. Okay, and they yeah, a gang or two attacked him. You know, it happened more than once. So he got some electrical tape and or some kind of something, and he blocked off his cell until a guard could get to him, and he wanted to get in trouble so that he could be in confinement. So I called there and I asked for him to be under protective custody And, you know, they said that, you know, everyone was saying that he had a bounty on his head. Fuck, dude. And, so he ended up being in, protective custody. I don't remember how long. It was a while until he could get transferred. While he was under protective custody, all the inmates at this prison knew about him, and they knew his charge and all that stuff. And so all the mail I was sending to him was getting thrown away, and all the mail that he was sending was getting thrown away. And we didn't know this until he moved to this unit that he's in right now. Okay, and this unit he's in right now, they're all maximum security ones. You know, it's where death row is, and it's, golly, my heart. It's where like serial killers go and stuff like that. And so he gets this place. Shit. And he's barely making it, okay? He's like barely making it. I mean, come on, you know. He's got the biggest heart. Alright, so he gets this place and he starts making like friends with people and stuff, and he's just trying his best to build rapport as best he can. And he got in with the wrong people. It's prison. I mean, like, it's hard not to, you know? But to save your ass, that's what he did. And he started working with magic. He started working with dark arts and stuff like that. And he admitted a lot of it to me. And me being a light worker and him knowing that, he was very interested in what I had to say. And every time, you know, I didn't recognize him for a little bit. This was sometime last year. It was last summer, 2021. And I didn't recognize him because he wasn't him, you know what I mean? So he was telling me about some stuff he was practicing. He was practicing astral projection stuff, and he was trying to control it and everything, and he was asking for my advice and counsel. And I did the best I could without allowing him to cross my boundaries, right? And every time I felt like something spiritual trying to cross my boundaries, you know, I let it go. I said, no, you know, I can't talk to you right now. And he got off the phone. One time when we hung up, I was like, look, I can't talk to you right now at all because of the heavy darkness that I felt and saw on the phone with him. And okay, so once we got off the phone and I sat on my bed and I heard something growl behind me. Yeah. Stuff like that kept happening. Thankfully I know how to clear energy and things like that. But I let him know, I was like, hey, I can't fucking do that. You know, this is my boundary, I'm sorry. No one's there for you, I know that. I'm the only one, like, holding it together for you and stuff. But you gotta know, I can't allow that into my life. Not only for myself, but our children and stuff like that, you know? Okay. So then he was working on getting better and everything. Yeah. So, shit, I don't know how to tell this part. So Jacob is very spiritually, like, gifted as well as most people, but he's very open to it too. He has a lot of spiritual strength and a lot of spiritual power. But when you go into the dark parts and you're not working with the light, and you allow yourself and you to work with, and you allow the dark energies and like dark forces to work with you, they take that shit on heavily. So he was heavily influenced by it. Okay. And I saw such a change in him. The way that he wrote, his handwriting was different and everything, right? So, like, and at the end, he would put this weird ass coding in there and stuff. Anyways, yeah. So I stopped talking to him for a bit, and then I like let him back in, and he had called me, and I had I had gotten with my spirit team and like figured out a way to like set some stronger spiritual barriers and everything, and I felt led to talk to him, and he needed it, but he was like in a weird ass state. Like he was like not even all the way there. And so I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm everywhere. You know, I was like, what? I said, do you know what kind of influence or control that you're under? He's like, I'm not under control. I am me and I'm everywhere. I was like, all right. So I hung up and I asked my spirit team, I was like, where is Jacob and what is going on? And I heard he's in the ethers. So he called me back. And I said, I just heard you're in the ethers. And he's like, yeah. All right. So what that means is his soul, like your soul is connected to your body and stuff. So he was astral projecting, okay? Bro, it's wild. So when he's astral projecting, that's not him talking to me. You know what he said? He said, every time I tried to visit you, your energy's all over the place. I was like, it is? And he's like, yeah. He goes, but nothing can get to you. He goes, what are you? I was like, what do you mean, what am I? What are you? And he said, who are you? I said, I'm nobody. He said, how come nothing can touch you? Who are you? I said, I'm nobody. And then he asked me one more time, who are you? I said, I'm nobody. And I hung up the phone. And then I didn't talk to him for a bit longer, but it's because I had some other stuff going on. That was in July of last year. I had some other heavy stuff going on that and stuff, but he's still there. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The last time I talked to him, he had some really great news to tell me. They asked him to be like a speaker and like a teacher of spiritual things in the Bible. Because after that incident last year, he became extremely interested in the light. And he allowed me to perform energy clearings on him and such, and counsel him in that way. Of course, in prison, he doesn't have really that great of opportunities to keep his energy clear, but he does. He does his best to do that. He does his best to eat as best that he can there. He knows about all that stuff now. He studied the Bible and everything. and he's not wanting to deal with darkness. There are so many explanations that he gave me while he was in that made me understand the darkness even better, which I need to, because sometimes, every time when you're working with the light, especially as a light worker, you need to know how the dark works. You need to know how that, like the agenda and all that stuff, you need to know that. So that was a huge blessing for me to learn all that I did firsthand. But now I'm proud to say that they're having like church, and they have like groups that get together and they look to Jacob for advice and counsel and guidance. And he is so much more lifted and so much more spiritually light, and it's beautiful. And the last time we spoke, he told me he couldn't have done it without me. But he's still there. He told me that I've helped him so much, and he doesn't know what would have happened or where he would have been if it wasn't for me, he said. But I haven't gotten him out, and I don't know how. And when I tell him that, he's like, no, Dana, this is what I'm here for. He tells me this is what he's here for. He tells me that this is part of his purpose and his mission. He told me that the darkest places are the places that need the most light.